Are you having trouble getting yourself motivated to work for yourself in surplus funds? If you really need to learn more about motivation in your surplus funds business, watch this video. Hi, my name is David Church. I'm with Surplus Funds. Do me a favor, if you've not subscribed to my channel, I give free live cold calls every single month that my subscribers, these are unlisted, but my subscribers get free access to this. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button below. I also give out free copies of my ebook every month. So go and hit subscribe below to be one of those lucky winners. So one of the problems that I see people with in business in general, and I've talked about this recently on a few other videos, is that people want instant gratification. You do something and you want a result like that. You want to just get paid out. With surplus funds, like any job, it is a process where once you get the ball rolling and you get your rhythm down, you're going to be rolling. But getting there, and how do you get there, and how do you get consistency within your business? So one of my favorite stories that I just came across, I'm like, wow, why didn't I come across this sooner, is in 1993, a Canadian bank hired a 23-year-old to go ahead and work for them in sales, where nobody expected anything from a 23-year-old. Every morning, this 23-year-old would take paper clips, 120 from one jar, and put them in another jar. Every time he made a phone call, he would take one out of a jar and put it into another jar, take one out of a jar and put it into another jar. Every single call till he had 120 paper clips, leave one jar into the other jar. In 1993, this 24-year-old had brought the bank $5 million in 18 months. He was making $75,000 a year, which is equivalent to $125,000 a year today. A lot more than I was making in 1993. And he landed a job with a six-figure company after that. So what I'd like to do is look at an article like this and say, how could this apply to me into my business today? What could I do? So imagine if I worked for a bank and I knew I was going to get $125,000, that would be a great payday. But what if I could take that $125,000 and do it for myself? So literally with all the leads, and if you don't know how to find leads, watch some of my past videos, because I go over a ton of how to find leads and how to farm leads. Imagine if you had 120 paper clips and you moved them from one jar into another, and you were calling 120 people. Before you ended your day, you started at 8 a.m. and however long it took you, I guarantee you, if you did not have a deal, you would need to call me and we need to have a talk because you're doing something majorly wrong. But imagine if you could do that for yourself. Now, here's the thing, the instant gratification that we look for. What are you satisfying yourself? Well, you're achieving something because you're taking it from one jar and you're putting it to another. But let's be more realistic here. What if you're trying to get started and you haven't made one call? You haven't even made one call. Well, start off with one paperclip. On a Monday, start off with one paperclip, make a call, and then I always talk about what did you do well, what could you have done better, what are you going to do better next time? And a lot of times when I talk to people on the phone, like a video that I just gave, I had a family member I was listening to, and the question I didn't ask him was, can I follow up with you next week? That's something I need to evaluate in my head when I hang up the phone with somebody, because my next call, I need to ask that. And I need to remember that. I need to write that down. I need to have that in my script when I'm talking to a family member. I need to know the script like the back of my hand. Some people always want to get more educated, and I've talked a lot about that. Like they're always watching more videos, which I want you to do. I want you to get educated. Every single day I start off with some sort of enrichment that's going to make me better at my business throughout the day and motivate me and pump me up. I mean, there's a lot of good books out there. Audible, I love it, looking at books. But you also have to get to the point where you pull the trigger. You're in your business and you're going to pull the trigger and you're going to work it, and then you evaluate yourself with the education you've had. I always talk, and I've seen this like in real estate, especially in the real estate club where I was president of, there were always people that would not do marketing because they were always going to make it better than everybody else. And it's great that you want to have a marketing idea that's going to be better than everyone else. But if you're not going to call, or if you're not going to market, why even educate yourself? I mean, there's that phrase that I use a lot. Knowledge without action is the same as not knowing at all. If you have this knowledge and you're not going to act on it, it's the same as not knowing at all. And sometimes, and I know this sounds weird, but I'm just going to say it, sometimes I see people that know next to nothing and they're the most successful because they're willing to get in and try it, learn, and evaluate from themselves. So let's go back to the paperclip story. I love this story. 120 from one jar into another. So you start off with one. So you're making the phone call. You take one paper clip from the jar and you put it in. and then that's on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then you want more gratification. So now your goal is to get 2. You're meeting your goals every day, and you can make this a habit. So you're kind of tricking yourself, you're motivating yourself, and you're making this a habit. Then you're taking 3. So now you're taking 1 paper clip, 2 paper clips, 3 paper clips, and you do this every single day. And what would be great is if you truly make this into a self business where you're working for yourself, you're self-employed, and you make this a routine where literally you have 100. Could you imagine if you made 100 phone calls a day? I always say make 10 calls a day, because if you make 10 calls a day, that's 50 calls a week, that's 200 calls a month. Like I said, if you're making that many calls and you're not getting action, seriously, talk to me, talk to someone in the community, because you're doing something majorly wrong, okay? 200 calls, you're gonna get it. But again, if you see yourself making those 200 calls and you wake up Monday and you think it's gonna happen, there's a lot of moving parts. So start off simple, keep your business simple, start off with just 1 paper clip, then go to 2, then go to 5, and then make it 10, and then make this into an everyday habit. Another thing I've seen people do, and I like the paperclip one a little bit better, is they get a calendar, and what they do is every day they accomplish the phone calls, they'll put an X in the calendar, and they love an X, and that means they've completed their business for the day. Again, it's giving your mind a sense of accomplishment, and what you want to do is you want to make this into a daily habit. And I always preach in every video I give, I almost talk about the power of a habit versus a goal. A goal is huge, and you should have goals. Don't get me wrong. You might have goals you want to do around the house, goals in working out, goals within yourself, goals spiritually. That's important, but you've got to be able to try. I mean, what happens when you accomplish something at your house? You've got 10 more things to do, and then you feel good, and then it gets left, and then you don't work it at all. Same with the business. Your goal is to make a call, and you make that call on Monday. Okay, you've achieved that goal, you have some satisfaction, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you're gonna feel really bad because you're not doing anything. Versus if you make it into a habit, like for me at my house, and I love to do some of the work around my house myself, I've made it a goal to put in a few hours a week of working. Actually a habit, let me take that back. I've made it a habit into doing various projects around the house so that things get done consistently and I feel good. I've also done that within the business. I've made it a habit to make phone calls. When people tell me, you're so good on the phone, you know how to talk to people, I don't see that. In 2014, I could not make a first phone call. I was scared to death to call someone and tell them they had money. And this was not a very popular business. I came across this and I had to do it. And I had to learn how to take those calls and make them into a habit and be able to talk to people. And that's what's got me experience. I mean, I don't have this major magic phone voice that other people think I have. I know my script, I have my data, and I stick to it. So let's go back to this paperclip story. I think this is awesome. Just go ahead and start off with 1 a day. And this could work out in so many areas. If you want to start doing push-ups, you want to start working out, and you see yourself doing 100 push-ups a day. Well, you want to start with 5, put 5 paper clips, and each time you do 5, move them over to a jar. I mean, do that in daily habits, but I would really encourage you to start doing something like that with your cold calling, with your email, with sending out letters. You're getting that sense of accomplishment. It's going to get you motivation. It's going to get you started in this business. Hey, if you've not subscribed to my video, what the heck are you thinking? Go and hit the subscribe button, okay? I give out free ebooks. I do live monthly cold calling. Only my subscribers go because I make this private, but everyone gets notified who's on my channel. Hit, and I'll see you on the next video.